Hi, my name's Olivia McPike. I'm your Miss Glasgow Galaxy, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Hey everyone, it's Adrian from you know where, I think by now, and I am here with Olivia McPike, who is Miss Glasgow Galaxy. Olivia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, I believe, I don't want to insult any of my past interviewees, but I believe you're the first Scottish girl that I've interviewed.
Yeah, I thought that as well, but I didn't want to say in case I wasn't doing my research properly. But from what I think as well, I think we're both right.
Well,
which is so cool. Thank you so much.
Don't worry about your research. I mean, if I don't know who I've interviewed, I mean, we can excuse you for not knowing. I am, as I just told you, I'm interviewing Freya Taylor, 8:30 p.m. UK time, so in about 8 hours, and she's Scottish as well. I don't know. She has the same accent as yourself. This will be a random question to start, but since everyone has given the Scottish accent grief, have you found that people find your accent really difficult to understand? Because I'm understanding you fine.
I know. Yeah. When I'm down in like pageant land, when we all go down together, I really, really need to be very conscious of how I'm speaking and like speak a lot slower so many times. Even when I went with, I know you know Lauren Parkinson, you know her very well, and my other sister Queen Tina, when we went away together, there was some days that there was a day where we were on the bus together and I was talking to Lauren and I was looking at her. I spoke for about 10 minutes solid, and then she just looked at me and went, "I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a single clue but anything that you just said there." And I was just like, I've been speaking. She was just looking at me like, and then she just went no. And Holly Perry, who runs Pageant Girl UK, sometimes she would just be like, "No, sorry, no, you need to give me that again." And I was like, okay.
Is it really?
So most times I just smile and wave.
Really that bad? I mean, it's not. Is it a?
I know.
Are you saying it's a speed thing? Like you speak too quickly? Because I always thought it was the sound thing.
See, I think it's a speed thing because usually it's okay, but there's a man who does all the professional photography for Pageant Girl, and his name is Brian Hayes. So he does all of our pictures, and people say that when we are speaking to each other, because we're from kind of the same area, people look at us and think it looks like we're speaking a different language because we're speaking so fast. And I just think it's so funny to hear that. Obviously, I'd love to know what it sounds like, not knowing like the Scottish accent. I'd love to know what it sounds like.
Well, I mean, you can watch this interview back afterwards and you can hear what you
I know.
I don't find it that difficult at all. Are you speaking kind of at normal speed now? Because I'm understanding everything you're saying.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Maybe it's just...
I don't know. As I said,
sure.
I think some people maybe find certain accents difficult. I can't understand Asian accents for the life of me, but I can understand your accent just fine, so that's all that matters. Guys, you know the drill. If you have any questions for Olivia, leave them in the comments below. Olivia, I'll start with the easy question, which is to give us an idea as to your pageant experience. I know that you're not a complete newbie, definitely, because I've seen that you've done a couple of other pageants, but give us an idea as to how you got into this crazy world.
So, I actually have a background in musical theatre, and that's originally what I thought I was going to do with my whole life. Since I was really, really young, I've always went to theatre school, and when I got a bit older, I attended the Glasgow Academy of Musical Theatre and Arts. And there used to be a girl that came in every so often to teach us, and she was an ex-graduate, and she's also an ex-Miss Scotland, and her name's Niamh Jennings. And I remember when I was young and she used to come in to take the classes, I was just in absolute awe. She was just so beautiful, amazing. She was so confident in the way she spoke. She was just out of this world, and I just remember thinking, oh my goodness. And when she used to come in, I used to be like, oh, Niamh's coming in. And then I found out, I know, and then I found out she had did Miss Scotland, and I didn't really know what really that was, but I remember saying to my mum, like, when I'm old enough, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm definitely going to do that. And as soon as even before I was 18, when I was still 17, it was a couple of months till my 18th birthday, I applied and I got through to the top 10. So Miss Scotland's a little bit different. You don't like apply and pay a fee, that sort of thing. Like, you apply, you have an interview, and then they choose like a top 10 or a top 15, depending on how they're feeling that year. It changes.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I was so like naive to it all. I honestly don't even remember if I knew that you went to Miss World if you won. Like, I know if I knew that. I was just like, yeah, this is fun. This is good. But I managed to come third.
Oh wow!
I've got no idea how I done that, because looking back now, I just didn't have a clue what I was doing. But I thought that was great fun. And then I found, after Miss Scotland, I found Pageant Girl UK, and they run, obviously, Galaxy. It was the Power Pageant, but it's now changed to the Miss Pageant Girl UK Weekender.
I saw that.
And lots of other pageants.
Yeah, just recently.
Yeah, just recently. And I took part in the Power Pageant at the time. And I believe I came first runner-up for Scotland that year. And after that, I thought, I'm going to go back to Miss Scotland and try that again. I did that again, but by this point, I kind of had an idea what I was doing. I really was gunning for it, really, really wanted it, and came third again. And after that, I kind of thought, oh, maybe this isn't for me, and I should just kind of give up and just chill out. Maybe it's not meant to be. Right. And that year, well, about probably 2 years ago now, something like that, I remember watching Galaxy on the live stream, and I hadn't really followed it that much that year, because at the end of that year, because I thought, I'm going to give it up. And I watched Galaxy on the live stream, and I thought, oh no, I want to do it again. So I entered the Power Pageant again and managed to win this time, which was really unexpected, and I was just so happy to have that opportunity, really. And then I handed my title over in March-ish.
Sounds about right.
June. Sorry. Yeah, and then I thought I was done, but evidently I'm not. And now I'm doing Galaxy, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited for March. Can't wait.
Do you know what keeps bringing you back? I mean, you've mentioned multiple times that you thought you were done. So why? I guess first off, why did you think you were done? And secondly, what keeps bringing you back?
I think I used to always keep thinking I was done, because a big part of my pageant work is that I do a lot of like fundraising and raising awareness for mental health, because I myself have suffered with anxiety and depression, like from when I was very, very young. I only really suffer with anxiety now, but it's something that I've kind of learned that I'm never going to get rid of my anxiety, even though I'm definitely not depressed anymore, and that's amazing to say that, and I know I'm really, really lucky to have gotten through that. I'm always going to have anxiety, and it's just something that I need to learn how to manage. So I think that me going, oh, I'm not going to do it again, it's like came from a place of like deep anxiety, and maybe even just a little bit of embarrassment, like, oh, I don't want people, what are people going to think, and all the rest of it. So, and then it gets to the point where I'm just like, I don't care what people think. I don't care if I need to do this 10 times until I win. I'm just going to do what makes me happy, because I think at the end of the day, as long as you're not doing any harm to anybody else, I think that's kind of all what that matters, really, is to kind of do what makes you happy. And also having that background in musical theatre, just to be on stage is just, when I get back up on stage, it's just an amazing feeling. Also, I always thought to myself, why pageant? Like, I never in a million years would I have thought that I'd have went down the route of pageantry. But when I've thought about it, I think that, because even though I've always loved my musical theatre, and it will always hold a massive place in my heart, but I think even though I was going through quite a hard time while I was like studying, I think musical theatre was almost like an escape. So I could go there and be anybody that I wanted to be. Like, I could go on stage and become a totally different person. And at that time, I probably wanted to be a different person. I didn't like the person that I was. Whereas now, like, you know, I've came on so many leaps and bounds with my personal development, and pageantry gives me a chance to get on stage but showcase who I am, instead of being a different person or trying to portray a different person. So yeah, I guess I've just kind of fallen into it, but it's been a journey, but I've really, really enjoyed myself, and I'm so happy that I done it. I don't know who I would be or where I would be if I hadn't I honestly don't.
That's a question I
really,
ask quite often, and most people say they wouldn't be able to answer. Can you tell us, give us an idea as to, with someone who's had anxiety or continues to deal with anxiety, I think a lot of people, you're not the first person who I interviewed who said this, that they actually used almost your exact words, that they used modeling. They didn't use theatre, but they used modeling as a chance to be someone else. Can you just give us an idea as to what it's like dealing with the anxiety and then also loving to get on stage? Because for a lot of people, they won't be able to understand that, because I don't suffer from anxiety, but I can't say that I'm dying to jump up on stage. So how does it work for you when you've got the anxiety on one hand, but you simultaneously really love being on stage?
This is something that I get asked all the time, and the only way I can explain it is that through the years of battling with my anxiety, I've had to learn how to control it, and I've had to understand it and understand my body and the situations that I put myself in to kind of deal with it. But I read a book, and the title of the book was called "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway," and that's my life motto. Like, that is my life motto. You have to feel the fear and do it anyway. Behind every anxiety, like, no matter what it is, if you whittle that down, if you strip it back, it's just fear. Anxiety is just fear, and the only way to get over that fear is to face it head on. So even though I might be behind stage, and I still get it, I would hate for somebody who's starting out in pageantry to be sitting here watching this thinking, oh, she must like just have all this confidence now, which I do. Like, I'm such a more confident person, but I'm still standing behind stage going, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And then the curtain goes, and you're like, hello, this is me. But then that's like, when once you do that, once you're halfway down that stage, that's when you feel it, and you're like, yeah, I'm good enough to be here, and this is great, and this is where I'm meant to be. You just need to, I mean, it was not an overnight thing. I don't know if I've made it sound like that, but it's definitely not. It didn't happen overnight. But yeah, it's just, I think you just need to understand where they're coming from and really think about, why do I feel this way? And, you know, just simple things like that. I had to even learn that, you know, if I go outside today, nothing bad's going to happen. Like, it's just, everybody suffers with it differently. I mean, so part of my anxiety is social anxiety, right? Terrible social anxiety. So even for me to go out and do appearances and charity work and go to events, that pushes me so out of my comfort zone. And then at the end of the night, I think, this is great. I didn't die, nothing bad happened, and I've made 5 new friends, and I've raised money for charity. And I think that's what keeps me going, is that, you know, the pageants keeps me going, because I think, you know, I've got a responsibility now to go out, spread the Galaxy message, let everybody know about Galaxy, raise my money for charity. Like, that is my obligation now. Like, I've chose to have that. So in a way, it kind of eggs me on to think, like, you know, you got yourself into this situation, so, you know, do it properly.
I mean, you said it wasn't overnight. Obviously, yeah, it's an ongoing thing, as you mentioned. But can you give us an idea as to where you were when you started? Because with social anxiety, I can't imagine anything more terrifying than doing an appearance. I mean, you're in a public place with a bunch of people you don't know. To me, it seems like the ultimate thing that someone with social anxiety would not want to do, to be to the place where you are now. Give us an idea just as to what that journey has been like, and how long did it take?
So I was basically bullied and had trouble from the minute I started high school to the moment I left. So I'm not sure if it's different in Australia, but it's like 1st to 6th year. So that's like 6 years of high school. I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly the same. Okay. But I had trouble from the moment I was there. And even like being in a class full of people, I remember in English class one day, we were there and we had to do a solo talk. And the thought of getting up in front of like a class of 20 people was, it feels like your body's like caving in. The one thing that I always used to say to people is that it felt like when I was having what I now know is probably like maybe an anxiety attack or
a panic
attack. Minor anxiety.
Yeah, it
felt like when you put your head underwater and that like muffly sound, like that's literally what would happen. Wow. I would feel like I was like out of control of my body. And I remember that one time in English, and the weeks were building down, and each day it was you know, a build up and thinking, oh, I need to do this, and I would like plead with the teacher saying, please don't make me do this, please don't make me do this, no, you have to. And I got up to, and I was literally like shaking, and I got up and I looked at the people, and I almost passed out. The teacher had to catch me, and she went, just sit back down, it's fine. Because I think maybe because I'd went to her and said I don't want to do this, and then that had happened, she'd realised like, oh, this is good. But I literally have, you know, went from that to getting up on stage and representing my country on an international stage. Like I'm so proud of myself. Like, and I used to even be embarrassed to say that, but you know, why shouldn't I be proud of myself?
Absolutely.
Everybody should be like that. It's something that can totally take over your life, and like I could have totally let it overtake my life, but I would not be half the person I am today, or have had half the opportunities that I've had today if I'd let it do that.
So did you just decide that you were going to get up and do it anyway? I mean, was there any particular books or tips that really resonated with you, or was it just getting up and feeling the fear doing it anyway, as you said?
Well, also I read that book, but it was just like a build up of years basically. So I was basically like that from first to sixth year, and after I left school, I just thought, you know, it carried on for a few years, and it just got to the point where I was not just mentally but physically making myself ill, like. And I couldn't even leave the house some days. And honestly, like, getting out of bed some days was a struggle. And I thought, like, this is not life. Like, there's so much more to life than this. So a part of, like, what works for me is I exercise a minimum of 3 times a week, just for an hour, with a gym called Fitness Frontier in Glasgow. He's actually sponsored me for Galaxy, and Chris has actually changed my life with, like, you know, the gym and everything. For me, it's so important. Like, a healthy body is a healthy mind. Try and eat as best I can, but it's a bit hard. My mum and dad have a restaurant, so you know they're always bringing in like cake and meats and cheeses, and but I try. I know it's so. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? This is like sabotage. Like, why are you doing this? But no, I just try and eat as best I can, and just put myself, like I say, like the pageantry really gets myself outside the comfort zone. Like, you need to constantly push yourself to be better. Like, and I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to see what else I can achieve and how far I can really push myself. It's taken years, like so many years, but definitely the last 2.5 years, I've just totally came on leaps and bounds as a person. It makes me so like excited and happy to see what else can happen really for me.
Well, I mean,
and I hope to.
You mentioned that you were proud of yourself. I absolutely think you should be. I mean, a lot of people who have social anxiety or depression in general, they do let it run their lives, and they do hide away in their house. And I know it's sort of firsthand, it's certainly not easy. Certainly it's a lot easier some days just to stay inside, but to as you said, feel the fear and do it anyway. And then to be at a stage where now you're on, and I mean, you've been on international stages, so I mean, that's to have come a very, very long way. Just before I go to the questions on Instagram, and guys on Facebook, if you have any questions for Olivia, put them in now. But I want to ask you about Scottish cuisine, because you just mentioned Scottish food, and I'm a big fan. I don't know if you are, of Gordon Ramsay, your countryman. But
oh, yes.
he hasn't said the best things about Scottish cuisine, and all I've heard about it is haggis and the Deepfried Mars bar. So can you, can you give me some insight into, first off, the haggis, and secondly the Deepfried Mars bar, because that's all I know about Scottish cuisine.
You're going to be so disappointed. I hate haggis. I hate haggis. I hate mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes makes me feel ill. Like, I don't like looking at it. I definitely don't want to eat it. I hate haggis. I hate mashed potato. I hate minced potatoes. Like, I can't. Like, my mum and dad used to force feed me minced potatoes when I was wee, and I used to like try going, I don't want it. And now they're like, I feel so bad. Like, you really, really don't like that. We just thought you were being annoying. I'm like, no, I really hate it. I don't really like traditional Scottish food, and that's like so bad. I know that's like awful. It's so bad.
Well, I don't know anything about haggis. I can't say I thought haggis sounded particularly appetizing. I am more surprised about the potato, though. You really hate potato?
I like chips.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, I love chips, love roast potato. And this is the thing, right? I know that the inside of a roast potato is basically mashed potato, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's different, okay? It's just different. It's got a nice crunchy outside, and it's just lovely. I just hate mashed potato. Like, oh, it's just not. It's not the one. It's not the one. It's not for me. Okay, I just don't like it.
Okay, well,
and my mum and dad always still like make it. Like, sometimes I'll come in and they've made like mint potatoes. I'm like, I don't like this. This is so bad.
Well,
but yeah, no, I know it's a bit disappointing, isn't it?
Not really disappointing. I mean, give us an idea as to what you do like then.
I love well, my mum and dad actually have an Italian restaurant. That's another story in itself. But they used to have a very good Italian friend and a business partner, and then they just kind of kept contact from there. And they love embracing the Italian culture and stuff. They just absolutely love it, and they go to Italy as much as they can. They just really like it. So obviously, I love pizza. I love pasta, meats and cheeses. I love Mexican food. I'm such a foodie. Like, I love food so much, and I hate when you go to a restaurant and it's so hyped up and it's just rubbish. I get upset. Like, it really upsets me. Like, I hate it. It's so annoying. I hate, especially because you think, I've worked hard for my money and I want to go and have a nice meal, and when it's just rubbish, I just get so annoyed. I hate it.
I can understand that. I'm surprised that your parents run an Italian restaurant in Scotland. I can't say I've been much to Scotland. I think I was stuck in the airport for maybe a few hours, but that's it. But an Italian restaurant in Scotland, that's different.
Yeah. Well, no, there is a lot of them. There is a lot. But well, they love it, and it's great as well when you've got no money and you can just go in and
steal all the food.
I just sneak in. I'm like,
What about the Deepfried Mars bar? Is that really a thing?
That's a thing, yeah. But I've actually never had a Deepfried Mars bar. Yeah. But I suppose that's a good thing. That's that's not the worst thing not to have had.
No. I mean, that really doesn't sound good at all.
But my mum used to make them when she was younger. She used to make them for my brother and my sisters. But yeah, no, I've never had one. Maybe you need to try one.
So this is the one I told you about. This is from one of my friends in Melbourne here. Her name is Sean. She's actually part Welsh, which I keep forgetting. But she saw the photo of you that I posted up, and she's asked, "What's your hair routine like?" Girl, you have incredible hair, and incredible is in all caps. And then she's put five faces with love heart emojis there. So what's your hair routine, Olivia?
That is so nice. Thank you so much. I wish I had this crazy hair routine to share with you, but I really don't. And I'm pretty sure in that photo that you shared with me, that's actually half of that isn't even my hair. I think that's so. But no, I don't really do anything that mad. I just, washed it that day as well, and just use heat protector and try not to use a lot of heat on my hair. It's actually pretty ironic that I'm a makeup artist and I do pageantry and stuff, because I was working this morning. I didn't look like this morning. I don't usually use a lot of heat or anything on my hair, or even wear makeup or anything during the week, but no, just don't use a lot of heat on it and just take care of it when you can. A wee deep mask now and then is quite good. Okay. Not too much.
All right. As I asked Joanna Johnson this because she's a hairdresser, and I asked her how she feels about other people doing her hair. So when you go to pageants, how do you feel about other people doing your makeup, or do you get to do your makeup all yourself?
Yeah, I've never actually had my hair and makeup done by anybody else. I've always just done it myself. Yeah. So I don't think anybody else has really done my makeup apart from my sister. I work with my older sister, and she's done my makeup a few times. But for all my pageants and everything, I've done all my hair and makeup myself. But for March, I booked in to get my hair done. I wanted to get my makeup done as well, but I wasn't fast enough. So I've got getting my hair done. So I just want to take the stress off a wee bit, because I'm rubbish with hair. I don't know why. I look back on photos and I think, why did I do my hair? Because I'm not good at it. I'm rubbish at it. Why have I done that?
Well, I mean, you've done pretty well for someone who says they've done their hair pretty rubbish. I mean, that's why, Lauren said. Lauren said she's rubbish with her hair, but her hair looked fine to me.
Oh, Lauren's really good with hair. Lauren's got amazing hair, though. It's so thick and good. And her mum's a hairdresser as well, so she obviously tells her how to look after it. But she's got really nice hair.
So you've never had anyone do your hair or makeup for a pageant?
No, I've always just kind of done it myself. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And speaking of the devil, Joanna Johnson has asked, what made you choose the Galaxy system?
Well, when I first discovered Pageant Girl UK after I did Miss Scotland for the first time, I found the website, and one of the ones that popped up was Galaxy, and I remember looking through the videos and the pictures and thinking, these girls are just unreal. They're on a different level. The work that they do is outstanding, like crazy. How do they even manage to do this? And I'd honestly just thought, like, I can't do that. Like, I'm going to do something, but it's not going to be that. There's no way I could possibly even do something like that. And as I say, I've came on absolute leaps and bounds the last 2 years, and I'm so much more confident, and I feel ready now to do Galaxy and give it justice, the justice that it deserves, really. I think at the end of the day, it's about having fun, isn't it? Like, if you can't have fun at the end of the day and say you enjoyed yourself, then what's the point? But I feel like I'm ready now to do it justice. Everything that Galaxy stands for, I love it, and I really do believe in it. I was lucky enough to go and watch it last year at the UK finals, and the energy and love that is in that room, like, it's indescribable. It's like nothing that I've ever really felt before, and I've watched so many, and everybody's just rooting for each other. No one, obviously there are people there with their families, and of course everybody wants to win, but everybody is just rooting for each other and empowering each other. It's just the most a surreal experience, and when I was sitting watching it, I thought, yeah, this is something that I want to be a part of, and hopefully can be a part of.
It seems, obviously everyone that I've interviewed has said that, and I've noticed that myself, that that sort of what sets Galaxy apart is that it really is a family. Everyone really is supporting one another, which obviously is not always the case, as much as we might like to believe. But let me ask you, so it's Galaxy UK is in March, isn't it? It's in March next year, so March 2020. So we're about 6 months out. Call it 6 months out. So, what are you most excited for over the next 6 months? What plans have you got coming up?
I've got a few events of my own that are coming up. I work really closely with. I also do my mental health awareness, and that I work with a charity called SAMH, which is the Scottish Association for Mental Health. So I've been out doing fundraising for them and raising money and raising awareness here and when I can. And I've got the tools available to kind of pick them up and go. And if I decide to go out for the day and do that, I can. But I also work with a local charity in my local area called Sunshine Wishes. So Linda and the team from there got me involved, and it's just the most incredible charity. So there's only 3 of them in the office, and they basically grant wishes to disadvantaged children. So we've got a few things lined up with them as well. So one of my favourite appearances so far has been actually my first appearance, and we went with a girl called Rhiannon. So she had MS in a wheelchair. She's 15 years old. Her wish was to be a model for the day. So Linda rang me and was like, what can you do? So I went and took my whole makeup kit. We got Brian Hayes involved, the photographer. We phoned a local hotel. We did up a room for her. I went out and got balloons and banners and tiaras, and we actually got our own purple sash made for her. And I think it said Princess Rhiannon on it, something like that. And we did a photo shoot, and that was just, it was just amazing. And to put that much effort into something and just see how happy she was so happy, and so was our family. And it's just to do more of that in the lead up to the Galaxy. Obviously, your prep for it on the day, your outfits and everything like that are obviously really important, but I'm just so excited to see what I can put into my community and what I can get back from it. Up until then, I'm just excited to do more things like that. That was so rewarding that day. So hopefully I can do more of that in the lead up to it.
So when you do finally decide that you're done with pageantry, when you retire, many years down the track, I'm sure, what would you most like to be remembered for?
I think I would like to be remembered for being the girl maybe that just went for it, despite everything that's possibly held me back. in the past. Like that doesn't matter. What's happened in the past or what you've been through doesn't define who you are as a person. You can achieve anything that you set your mind to. Like there's no reason to say that you can't do if you want something. Like there's no reason to say you can't have that as long as you put the work in.
Yeah. Perfect. Just before we go to the final 10 questions, I do want to again ask about the Scottish thing. So Maria, you saw Maria's interview. She said the Scots often insert syllables. So just can you give us maybe a 101 as to how to understand the Scottish accent? So you just said girls before. So how do you pronounce girls?
Girls. And I've actually got girls. I've got a wee thing to help you. So maybe this can help Maria as well. So if you say space ghetto in an American accent, it sounds like Spice Girl in a Scottish accent. So if I try and speak, so I go Space Girl, but I can go Spice Girl.
Okay. Are there any other tips? I don't know how often I'd have to say Spice Girl.
Okay, on. You need to try. So Space Ghetto in an American accent.
You're assuming that I can do an American accent. I think I'll be Space Ghetto. I'm going to have to work on this, Olivia. It's not happening. I will work on it.
Story. If they can see, tag me. I'll see.
I will. And then also Scottish words. So I know you said "we" a couple of times, which means small. Are there any other like commonly used Scottish? Because in Australian, if I told my nephew that he has to go for a wee, then he'd think he has to go to the toilet. So here it means something slightly different. But are there any other like Scottish slang words that maybe you can help us out with?
I can't put me on the spot. I'm trying to think. It's weird because there's different ways of speaking. Yeah. So people speak definitely depending. So, for instance, 2 minutes up the road from where I live, if somebody was to say like, if you were to ask me something and I would go like, oh yeah, I know that. People up the road go, oh, I can that, or I didn't ken that, but I don't speak like that. It's just it's funny. There's lots of different wee dialects depending on where you.
Okay.
I know, very confusing.
It sounds like going on an adventure in Scotland, just hearing all the different accents. Anyway, let's go to the final 10 questions. So, good luck. Here we go. Question 1: what is your favorite word?
You know, I know everybody gets the same questions, but I didn't want to overthink them because I wanted it just to come off the cuff. But I'm not sure. Maybe family. Mm-hmm. We're a very family orientated family. It's something that's really important to me. So probably family.
Perfect. What is your least favorite word?
See the word congealed.
I don't think anyone's given me that answer before. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's not a pleasant word now that you mention.
It's a horrible word. Like, oh, it makes me feel a bit like mashed potato. It just doesn't.
You have a really, really very visceral reaction even when you think of mashed potato and you say the word congealed. You look like you're having a sort of.
It literally sends shivers up my spine. Like I just don't know. Oh no, I don't like it.
Can you say it again?
Mashed potato.
No, the congealed.
Congealed. Oh no, congealed.
It's not a word that you use terribly often, though. I mean,
no, it's not. It's not. I think the first time I heard it was like, oh, one of my mum's friends hurt herself or something, and it went all congealed. Oh yeah. No, like a cut or something. No, not nice.
Yeah, congealed blood, congealed food. Yeah, okay. Gee, yeah, that's really not a nice word. Okay.
No, it's not.
Let's move on. In life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
I think going back to what I said before. See, when you are on stage and they announce your name and whatever round you're doing, it's the energy from the crowd. I absolutely love that. Like, it's such an amazing feeling. Or even going back to my musical theatre days, and I used to do a show and coming out for your about the end and hearing that energy and love from the crowd. I absolutely love that. It's such a great feeling.
Do you do any of the theatre anymore?
I don't anymore. I actually went to, the funny story actually, and everything, I believe everything happens for a reason. I actually went to school, to college here, for the first year to do musical theatre, and obviously in Scotland we have the free education system, which is absolutely amazing. But for things like the arts, we do have to pay to go to a school like that, and it's very, very expensive. You're talking, £10,000 plus a year to go, which, to some people might not even sound unheard of, but for us, because it's free, we probably do take that for granted most of the time. So that just wasn't an option for me. And there's only a few schools in Scotland that actually do a musical theatre course within the free education system, and I managed to get a place there, which is amazing. But halfway through, unfortunately, my first year, they announced that the funding was getting cut because it was just something that the education system were trying out. So they're basically in Scotland, they're trying to make it like an elitist subject that you can only go if you have the money to do it, basically. And I had to basically, they said you can stay and finish your year, but you'll have nothing to show for it at the end. Like, it didn't exist. The course didn't exist anymore. So I decided, instead of staying and having nothing at the end of it, I was to leave. But if I hadn't have left, I wouldn't have been able to do the Power pageant, and I wouldn't have won my title that I did. Because you're just not allowed to do anything. It literally takes up your whole life. Musical theatre as a subject, if you're not rehearsing, you're in college doing whatever. But everything happens for a reason. So I think I made the right choice.
It worked out for the best in a way, then.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Well, question 4: what turns you off?
Just I try to fill my life and everything in it with positivity and positive people. If someone isn't on my wavelength or on my vibe, I just kind of see you later. I don't have time, for negativity. I think earlier on in my life there was a lot of it, and I don't have time for it anymore. So probably negative people, negative vibes, all that bad stuff.
Next to people, next to what? What was the other word you used?
Oh, negative vibes.
Oh, negs. Okay. I thought you said vabes. I was like, what's vabes? Okay. That's the first word I haven't been able to understand, so I've been doing pretty well.
Vibes.
Got it. Okay. Question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
Probably I have a niece, 5-year-old niece, and I was thinking about this one actually, and I know a noise that I love that literally you get that wee fuzzy feeling in your heart is when she runs in. She's only 5 and she goes, "Annie, Owen!" Just so excited to see me. It just makes me so happy when I see her, and she's so happy to see me. So her little voice screeching me, that's my favourite noise.
Sounds like you must be her favourite.
Yeah, we'll wait till she's older and see how I feel about that.
Well, yeah, no. Just wait till she's a teenager and then things will be very different, I can promise you that much.
Thanks.
Okay, so question 6: what sound or noise do you hate?
Do you know what I hate? See, I've got 2 dogs and they're not allowed up on the couch, right? And see, my parents don't let them up on the furniture, and see when they're away, they know they're away. They're like, Mum and Dad are out. I'm gonna try my best here, and they just look at you and make that wee whimpering noise, and I hate it. And I'm like, don't do that to me. Don't do this, because they're just like, if I do this long enough, she's gonna let me up on the couch. But it's such I hate that. See that the noise of an animal in pain or crying. Like, oh, I can't. I just no. Oh no, it's horrible.
But you realise that's not real pain, right? They're playing you.
I know they're totally playing me, and they know I'm weak. They're like, I'm getting up on the couch. This is happening. This is a thing.
So you're able to keep them off for a little while, but eventually you give in.
Sometimes I think if I'm lying on the couch and they're lying on top of me, then technically they're not on the couch. Technically, it's allowed.
I can tell you, I don't think the dogs are thinking it that way.
No, but there's two of them, so it just ends up in a disaster. But when they see the headlights hitting the wall, when my mum and dad are coming back, they're like, oh, scramble. Like they know they're not allowed. They know.
Yep. I know exactly what you mean. Okay. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
I think I would have, you know how in The Incredibles, Elastigirl, she can like extend, because you don't know what. See, when you're in bed and you don't turn the light off, or you've left the remote like on. Is it not just like the worst feeling? Like you've got your cup of tea, you're in bed, you've snuggled right in, you're all comfy, and then the light's on, TV remote is God knows where, and you just like, I don't want to move, but I have to. And if you could just like, that would just be so good.
I think you win.
Like,
I think you win the prize for the most practical superpower picked. I mean, your superpower is so you can stay in bed and get your remote and get your tea and get your phone without moving.
I've watched all the interviews and everybody's like, yep, want to teleport, to travel, want to do this. And I'm like, no, I just want to lie in bed and reach for my belongings.
Well, that's very practical, and that's more unusual, so that's great. Question 8. What job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt?
I would love to be like a TV presenter. Holly Willoughby. You know who Holly Willoughby is?
Yes, I don't know why. I do know
She's
the
like
name.
a TV presenter in the UK. So cool. And I just love her, and I just think she has so much fun at her job, and she's so good at it. And in Scotland, we also have, I call her the Scottish Holly Willoughby, and her name is Jennifer Weirk, and she's also an ex-Miss Scotland.
Oh, right.
I can't remember what year she went, but she is a TV presenter now in Scotland, and she's one of my biggest inspirations. She's just so...
Oh, wow.
I've met her. I've been lucky enough to meet her a few times, and she's just so down to earth and just a lovely person. And her job looks like so much fun. She gets to travel lots of places and do what she does best.
Is there anything in particular that you'd like to present? Any particular topics or themes, or just anything?
Just like, see, I'm quite like old before my time and quite boring. See, like the morning TV. Morning, like This Morning. I don't know what you have, but we have like This Morning and Lorraine and Loose Women, and I love, seeing my days off, I love getting like my tea and doing the ironing and watching This Morning, Loose Women, everything. I'm so boring, like, but I like it, so you know.
Okay, sounds good to me. What job or occupation other than your own would you definitely not like to attempt?
Like a doctor or a nurse, anything with like congealedness, blood, anything like that. No, like no, I don't do like blood or anything like that, or no. Like even with my niece, like I love her, but I don't do sick, I don't do nappies, I don't do dribbles, I don't do it. When things like that, if I'm like, you can go back to your dad now, that's fine. Yeah. I've had my fun.
I know exactly what you mean. I used to work with kids a lot, and the best part was that I got to give them back to their parents at the end of the day. Final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well, hopefully the first thing he's going to say is, what took you so long? That'd be good, and just well done, and we had a blast.
Sounds good to me. Okay, well, Olivia, just before we hang up, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to, just for supporting you over the years in your pageantry?
I think that if I was to go through and mention everybody one by one, we would be here all day. Plus, I don't want to say anybody and forget about anyone, but everybody knows who they are. So thank you so much to everybody who supported me and believed in me. And I think the biggest thank you has to go to my parents, because they probably are my #1 supporters. But thank you to everybody who has always supported me throughout this crazy, crazy journey.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep you on the line for just a bit longer, but I'm going to let the audience go. And I'm going to thank everyone for watching. We'll speak to you again next time. Hey, it's Adrian. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to keep up to date with our interviews, then make sure to subscribe by clicking here. If you'd like to watch some of our interviews right now, then click here, and also make sure to follow us on all our socials right here. Speak to you next time.